The New York Giants have hired Matt Nagy as their offensive coordinator, and on today's show, I'm going to tell you why it was a good hire, and I'm also going to let you know why I'm not a big fan of it. I want to hear from you, though, down in the comments section. Get out your red pens and grade the hire of Matt Nagy, A, B, C, D, or F. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and Matt Nagy is our offensive coordinator. After we got off our live show today, I challenged myself to do a deep dive into who Matt Nagy is as a head coach and a play caller. We've got some pros, we've got some cons. I hope everybody appreciates this video. I'll just start off by saying this. In Harbaugh, we trust. In John Harbaugh, we trust. There's a lot of reasons to give him that trust, especially when it comes to building a staff. That is one of his superpowers, or was his superpower with the Ravens, and I am expecting that to carry over with the New York Giants. He fits the prototype of what Harbaugh wants in an offensive coordinator. He's been a head coach in the National Football League, and he's got a bunch of experience as a play caller, and he's been a play caller in some big-time games as well. Something that I point to that is a pro for Mr. Matt Nagy is the 2018 season that he had with the Chicago Bears. His first year there, they go 12-4. They average 26.3 points per game, a top 10 scoring offense. And then when it comes to situational football, they were really good. 12th best third down offense, 13th best fourth down offense, and they were damn good in the red zone as well. They scored touchdowns on 66.7% of his trips, sixth best in the NFL. If you're good on third down, fourth down in the red zone, you're going to be a good offense, and I'm hoping he is that with the New York Giants. Something that I am extremely concerned about is with the Bears and in his second stint with the Kansas City Chiefs, the offense was not explosive. And the key to winning games in the National Football League is to be an explosive offense. I am hoping that his best days of coaching an explosive offense are here with the Giants and in front of him. They were explosive in 2017 with the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, never really was the bona fide play caller in Kansas City. In 2017, he was that in the last 4 games. But if I'm going to give him credit, if I'm going to discredit his time in Kansas City, which I will plenty on today's video, I have to give him credit when he did have success, like in 2017. But from 2018 to 2021, the Bears were not explosive when it comes to yards per play. 20th, 31st, 27th, 27th again. His first year back with the Chiefs, they were explosive. 9th when it comes to yards per play, but the last 2 years, 22nd and 23rd. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs in the Patrick Mahomes offense when it comes to yards per play. 2018, first, then second, then first, then first. Matt Nagy comes back, 9th, 22nd, and 23rd. Did they become unexplosive because of Matt Nagy? I don't think that's entirely fair. Did they remain an explosive offense because of Matt Nagy? No, I don't think that they remained explosive because of him. Obviously, they did not. Things changed. Tyreek Hill, Kelsey's getting older. Maybe they figured out the offense. I don't know what it is. Causation, correlation. But as soon as Matt Nagy got back to the Kansas City Chiefs, they became less explosive, and their offense wasn't nearly as good. I also have to give him a lot of credit for strictly just winning football games as a head coach with Mitch Trubisky. We know now Trubisky is not a good NFL quarterback. And when Trubisky was under center with the Bears, they won games. In 2018, they go 11-3. In 2019, they go 8-7. And in 2020, they go 6-3. Overall, a pretty damn good record if you talk about who Mitch Trubisky is now and strictly just winning games with him. The stats for Trubisky, they were okay with Nagy. Never developed him into an elite quarterback, but I think that also a big reason for that is that he was just never an elite quarterback. You know, 25-13, though, throws 57 touchdowns to 30 picks, throws for over 215 yards per game, over 800 yards on the ground as well, 6 rushing touchdowns on top of that. While the Trubisky experience wasn't successful in Chicago, Nagy did, I thought, a pretty good job with him. Another concern for me and a big red X is the run game, the run scheme, and the success, or I guess you could say lack there of success on the ground when he has been the offensive coordinator or the head coach. Again, his first year with the Chiefs as an offensive coordinator in 2017, they ran the pill, and they ran it extremely successfully. They were the number one offense in the NFL when it comes to yards per attempt. But in Chicago, when it was his show and he was the coach, they were not. 27th, 29th, 21st, and 21st again. And his second stint with the Chiefs, they didn't run the ball well either. 13th, 29th, and 20th. Can he create a good run scheme? I hope so, but the numbers suggest that he has never been a play caller or an offensive mind that has produced a above average running game outside of 1 year. Definitely not dominant. Another pro of Matt Nagy is he has learned from the best. And I'm always a little bit cautious to talk about this because we know the history of the recent New York Giants coaches that have learned from the best. But Andy Reid, maybe the best offensive mind of our generation, he loves Nagy. And he's got a lot of experience as well. Even when I say that, I get flashbacks to Jason Garrett. Andy Reid on Matt Nagy said, the best coaching prospect I have ever had. Very, very loud praise. And Andy Reid held a press conference a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago at this point, pretty much went on there, and there was a PR stunt where he's like, why doesn't Matt Nagy have a job? Nagy should be a head coach. And we know that Andy Reid called the New York Giants about Matt Nagy. And we know that John Harbaugh looks at Andy Reid as a mentor, and Harbaugh and Nagy, they come from the Reid coaching tree. Connor Hughes, who covers the Giants, says among the people who phoned in a recommendation for Matt Nagy to the Giants, Andy Reid was one of those guys. Not a big surprise. Reid is one of John Harbaugh's mentors. That call certainly didn't hurt Nagy's chances. A lot of experience. Offensive coordinator for multiple years. Quarterbacks coach. Spent 4 seasons as a head coach. He was the QB coach for Kansas City before that, and he was the offensive coordinator in 2017 as well. So a lot of experience for Nagy in the National Football League. We talked about how in 2018 with the Bears, they were very, very good when it comes to situational football. 3rd down, 4th down, and in the red zone. But in the final 3 years with Chicago, it was the opposite of success when it comes to situational football. In 2019, on 3rd down, 25th best. And on 4th down, 29th best. And in the red zone, 24th. And you see the numbers in 2020. You also see the numbers in 2021. I believe the sign of a good head coach, a good play caller is, how good are you on 3rd down? How good are you on 4th down? How good are you on money downs? And how many touchdowns do you score in the red zone? Nagy in 2019, 2020, and 2021 was not good on 3rd, 4th, or in the red zone. A lot more to talk about. Some good pros for Matt Nagy coming up. But the big game is right around the corner, and there is no better daily fantasy sports app to play during the big game. It's Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app. Use that promo code CLNS, and when you play your first $5 lineup, they're going to get you $50 in lineups. You don't even have to win that $5 lineup. For the big game, Prize Picks is hooking up all of the real ones with a max discount. They have set Drake May's passing yards to 0.5. Throw that into your lineup. Select the more on that. I'm also going to pair Sam Darnold's passing yards and the more on that for my 2-pick lineup. You can roll with my picks or fade my picks. Just do it at Prize Picks. Download the app, create an account, use that promo code CLNS. When you play your first $5 lineup, you get $50 in lineups. You do not have to even be correct. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All of that information will be clickable down in the comments and the description of today's video. I think another thing to be excited about with Matt Nagy is players that have played for him absolutely love him. He did a sit-down with CBS Sports where someone pretty much did an autopsy of his career with Chicago as well as Kansas City, and an anonymous player said, of all the coaches that I have played for and all the coaches that I've been around, Matt Nagy would be the only one that I invite to my retirement party. Players love Matt Nagy. Chase Daniel, former Chicago Bear under Nagy, says Nagy and Dart and Andy Reid's offense equals elite. Kyle Long, who was on the Chicago Bears, said Matt Nagy has very fun chess pieces to work with on that Giants roster. Excited for him to get a second crack, even though I believe he will be a head coach soon enough. Patrick Mahomes is speaking very kindly of Nagy. Travis Kelce loved him as well. He is loved by his players, and I do think that is important. But, like, at the end of the day, if you're an offensive coordinator, you got to score points, and you got to score a lot of points. And outside of the 2017 season with the Chiefs and outside of the 2018 season with the Bears, the Matt Nagy-led offenses just don't score that many points. 2019, they were 29th. 2020, they were 22nd. In 2021, they were 27th. In 2023, when he goes back to the Chiefs, 15th. And then 15th again. And then 21st again. So only 2 times in his career, when he was the offensive coordinator, who technically never even called plays for the Chiefs, or the head coach, they had a top 14 offense 2 times. And that concerns me a little bit. One of my favorite things about Matt Nagy is what he did with Alex Smith in that 2017 season with the Chiefs. I even sometimes like, was it Andy Reid? Was it Matt Nagy? I'm not so sure. But what he did when it comes to Alex Smith being a deep ball thrower, you cannot deny it. You look at the career of Alex Smith, I can only go back to 2009 on PFF. On throws where the ball traveled more than 20-plus yards. In 2009, 18 to 38. The next year, 9 to 36. Then 21 to 51. Then 9 to 19. Then he goes to the Chiefs, 14 to 45. Then 8 of 24. Then 17 to 50. Then 16 to 51. Insert Matt Nagy as the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, and he completes a league-high 33 passes on more of 20-plus yards on 65 attempts. Then he goes to Washington, I believe it was in 2018, or maybe it was 2019. I don't remember if he had to take a year off. But 10 of 34, and it was 2018 with the Commanders. He then took 2019 off, and 2020 completes 10 of 24 deep balls. I'll put it like this. Remove 2017 from 2009 to 2020. Alex Smith completed 122 of 348 deep balls. That's 35%. And in 2017, he completed nearly 51% of his deep balls. That's the thing that stands out the most to me. And that is a direct correlation to the New York Giants. Jaxson Dart was one of the worst deep ball throwers in the National Football League last year. He attempted 50 throws where the ball traveled more than 20-plus yards. He only completed 16 of them. So if he can create an offense with easy deep throws and tap into Jaxson Dart completing more throws down the field like Alex Smith, I would absolutely love that. I reached out to my guy Harrison Graham, who covered Matt Nagy as the Chicago Bears head coach. And I said, what are some things you're concerned about? He's talked about the lack of quarterback development in Chicago. Never took Mitch Trubisky to that next step. Never took Justin Fields to the next level. I go back and I look at that and I say, well, maybe Justin Fields isn't any good and maybe Mitch Trubisky's not very good. Which one is it? He also had to give up play calling twice. You were hired to be the head coach of the Bears because of your play calling ability. And you gave it up twice. I think that's a good thing. And the Kansas City offense has regressed with him. Overall, my grade, I think I already said it at the top of the show, for Matt Nagy as the Giants offensive coordinator is a C-. There's some things I like, but there's a lot more things I dislike than things I love about Nagy. I'm going to give him a chance. There's no reason for me not to give him a chance. I don't even know what that means, not giving him a chance. He's our coordinator. He's our offensive coordinator. He has to be good. He needs to be good. It's time for Jaxson Dart to start playing winning football, and you don't want to mess up another offensive coordinator with that. So I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping the best for him. I hope you guys appreciate this video. If you did and you made it all the way to the end, hit that thumbs up icon and give me a real one down in the comments. You can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter @MarshallGreen_.